morning, everyone. Welcome to Bwn Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. That's right, we are back. We are back. We are back. Scream and go. That's right, we're happy to be back on YouTube. Hi, everyone. Yes, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. 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 Kind of Pac-Man noise. I don't know how we have this much energy this morning. I think it's because of our one sponsor, which is Itasha Coffee Company, which, by the way, we want to promote them. This segment of Bwn Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Itasha Coffee Company. Founded in Chicago in 2023, Itasha Coffee Company is the premier anime-inspired coffee brand for fans who love to live life loud. They blend top-tier beans to bring you flavors that will not only give you a taste buds to kick you... Wow, I really can't talk today. They blend top-tier beans to bring you flavors that will not only give your taste buds a kick into fifth gear, but will give you the energy to start your day off right. So whether you're a cosplayer, a VTuber, or a streamer like us, Itasha Coffee Company makes you feel like part of the family. Check them out in the link below and use code Bwn Radio Network at checkout for 10% off your order. That's right, check them out today at ItashaCoffeeCompany.com. Hi, everyone. This is awkward. So, we're back on YouTube for the first time in forever. I guess we should probably explain the small stuff, which, by the way, if someone could please type in the chat so I make sure that our chat box looks right, because I didn't even test that out this morning. That shows you how prepared we are for today's show. So we should probably explain everything that happened and what happened to the original Bwn Radio channel and stuff like that. So, for those that are wondering what the heck has been going on, let me explain what happened. So, about a month or so ago, the Bwn Radio Network YouTube channel that had 200 subscribers and all of our video content and everything was deleted out of nowhere, and we have no idea how it happened. We reached out to YouTube and to Google to try and get it back. They told us that once the account was deleted, there was no getting it back, which made no sense because they had the links and everything. And for some reason, it made no sense to me because they still had our channel link, but yet they couldn't bring it back. And yet they brought back numerous YouTube channels that, violate copyright and do all this different stuff. So it really made no sense to us. But I guess I'm not going to complain because we were just able to create a new account. We're now back on here. We're going to try our best to make this show as fun as we possibly can today. But like I said, it was very weird because we were streaming on Twitch for at least a couple of weeks. We thought, there's a lot of changes that have been going on. Like, we've gotten rid of the RWL's war, which that's another topic for another day. But obviously, we have so much to talk about in sports. We have so much. We have Syracuse football that we got to talk about. We have college football that we have to talk about. We have Lee Corso retiring. The NFL is back this week, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL is back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, cheer. The NFL is back. Yes. And how many of you are going to cheer for the Cowboys? Okay. Too far? Alright. Alright, so our chat box needs a little bit of work from what I can see. This is what happens when we don't test the equipment before we go live. Oh, and it disappeared. What the heck? Whatever. I'll have to test it out later. But anyway, we have so much to talk about. We'll even talk about the Micah Parsons trade from the Cowboys to the Packers. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how Swifties are freaking out because now she's engaged to Travis Kelce and how this NFL season is going to suck because chances are the cameras are mostly going to be pointed at those two. We have Around the Diamond, where we're going to check in on the Yankees and the Mets, how the Yankees have been fighting back. Meanwhile, the Mets doing what the Mets usually do. But of course, because we are the number one Syracuse Sports Radio, we're going to start with Syracuse football. They kicked off their season yesterday in the Aflac kickoff against number 24 Tennessee in Atlanta, Georgia. And boy, oh boy, does Fran Brown have a challenge for him this season, because Syracuse did not start this game off well, allowing 17 points in the first quarter. No, excuse me. Allowed 17 points in the first quarter, allowing 14 points in the second. Syracuse would try and fight back. However, anytime they scored, Tennessee had an answer. And unfortunately, the Orange fall to number 24 Tennessee. 26-45 was the final score in that one. I'm not kidding. It seemed like whenever Syracuse scored a touchdown, Tennessee followed right behind it. There was no stopping that Tennessee offense with the Syracuse defense that we saw yesterday. I mean, it was just awful. Angeli, of course, the starter for Syracuse, went 23 of 40, one touchdown, one interception, and a fumble that was recovered for a touchdown by Tennessee. Syracuse would have 24 first downs, 2 turnovers the entire game. They would have a total of 377 yards. I mean, you want to talk about just an awful game. I don't know what Fran Brown is doing. He's a defensive mindseted coach, and the defense just was awful. I mean, you couldn't do anything. They couldn't slow down Tennessee to save their life. It was like Tennessee started off hot in the first quarter. I mean, they scored the field goal, and we were like, okay. They held them to a field goal. Then all of a sudden, it was like touchdown. It was like, geez, I'm okay. Syracuse needs to answer quick. They were able to score a touchdown in the second quarter, but then immediately after that, it was touchdown. Then another touchdown by Syracuse, and then all of a sudden another touchdown by Tennessee. It was like there was no stopping that Tennessee offense. It was just too powerful and too overwhelming for Syracuse to overcome. And I didn't. I guess I didn't really know what to think of that Syracuse team yesterday. I mean, it was like, what the hell happened to the team from last season? Like, what happened to that defensive team that was just there? And it was like, what? Like, why did that happen? Right? And it just bothered me because it was like they couldn't do anything. Like, they couldn't slow them down. Couldn't get out in front of them. Then I want to talk about the offensive side of the ball, because this Angeli guy was supposedly coming in being the hot best thing for Syracuse. Fumbled twice. One was picked up for a 22-yard fumble return by Colton Hood of Tennessee. That was towards the end of the first quarter. I mean, Syracuse just did not have any momentum, and it was like Syracuse just couldn't get anything going offensively. It was the most awful game. Really, the shining star for them was Willis yesterday, who had 91 yards rushing on 23 carries and 3 touchdowns. On the defensive side, I guess you could say Reese was the shining star on that side, because he had 7 tackles, and then you had Cook, who was the leading man there at wide receiver. He had 1 touchdown, but I mean, it was like, geez, Syracuse could not do anything against that Volunteers defense, and it was like, what the hell? I'm not kidding. There should have been many times where Syracuse had opportunities to try and get to Aguilar, who was the Tennessee's quarterback. They had many opportunities to get to him, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't even get a sack on him yesterday. That's how bad it was. I mean, I mean, we're not starting off the season in a good way. I mean, obviously it was a tough opponent. I even said on Twitch last week that Tennessee was going to be a tough team for Syracuse to try and come back against. So I don't think that they were going to start off the season right, but now Syracuse will have their next opportunity, which is their next game following this one. They're going to be heading back home to the Dome to take on UConn. Not a lot of high hopes though for Syracuse. Many people think that UConn could possibly be the favorite in that one, which shocks me to say the least, because Syracuse will be playing at home in the Dome. But I mean the Huskies, I mean they came out with a win yesterday. Who'd they play? They played the who'd they play? Central Connecticut Blue Devils, and they got a 59-13 win. I'm telling you, if Syracuse loses to UConn, they might as well just tank the rest of the year. Because I mean, the Huskies quarterback, he threw for 3 touchdowns, 260 yards. Even the running back had an even more impressive game than our running back, even though, well, not really, because he only has 1 touchdown, but he ran for 115 yards. Our running back had 3 touchdowns at least. But I don't know. I don't know if Fran Brown's going to change things up. I don't know if Syracuse is going to come out firing in that one. Hopefully they do. But I mean, at this point, I don't know what to think of Fran Brown and his. I mean, I said we could see the pattern that scared me the most, which was a Syracuse coach will win a bowl game, come off hot in his first season, and then just tank the rest of the way. So far, the prediction seems to be true. Hopefully they bounce back. I mean, it's still a very simple way to get 6 wins. But, I mean, I think we can count out college football playoff team just based off yesterday's performance. If they lose to UConn, they might as well just call it. Because, I mean, there's no way. If this Syracuse team, they need to do something to that defense. I mean, that defense was just awful yesterday. And I know that Syracuse has lost a lot of big names on defense. But, I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. You got to give me something. Give me a reason to tune in. Syracuse does not have a very easy schedule after these next couple of games. I mean, after UConn and Colgate, they then gotta take on Clemson and Duke and SMU and Pitt. I mean, they gotta get 6 wins. They at least need to get those 2, non-conference games, and then they go the rest of the way. Based off what I saw yesterday, this was pretty much me yesterday. Because I was like, Jesus, they couldn't get anything going. I mean, by the third quarter, I turned the game off because I knew it was going to be this. I mean, it was like everything that Syracuse did was wrong. Everything they did was wrong. See? Everything they did was wrong yesterday. Okay. Thank you, soundboard. No, that defense could not get through Tennessee's offensive line. And by the way, we do have a lot of college football talk to come up here after this break because we do have a lot of shocking results as of yesterday, including what many people thought was a revenge game for Florida State against Alabama. Of course, there was no shocker that Georgia pretty much blew out their opponent, but I mean, that game between Ohio State and Texas yesterday, ooh, boy. Oy, vey. I think both teams looked rough in that one, but I mean, we're back. We're back in the full swing of college football, and I can tell you what, it's gonna be a long year for Syracuse, but I mean, it's gonna be a very exciting year for the rest of this playoff field. But we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. So coming up here after the commercial break, we're gonna be talking about the college football playoff week 1 matchups. That included number 5 Georgia taking on Marshall, number 1 Texas taking on number 3 Ohio State, Penn State taking on Nevada. And, of course, the shocking game between Alabama and Florida State. Find out who won that one next You're listening to Bwn Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bwn Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So to be back with you folks once again. Folks, this segment of Bwn Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Fanatics.com. Fanatics, if you would, please.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics. And autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Whoops, my bad, folks. Sorry about that. I guess we didn't turn the audio back on. Anyway, welcome back to Bwn Radio. A lot of technical issues already. I guess I don't know what's going on with our noise. This is the fun of working with our equipment, is trying to figure out what is usually going on with it. Ay. This is the fun part of working with our equipment. Hopefully our volume is a little bit louder now. I have no idea. But anyway, welcome back to Bwn Radio, the number one Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. Folks, this segment of Bwn Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Fanatics.com. Folks, sports fans, it's time to gear up at Fanatics.com. Fanatics has sports gear and collectibles from all leagues, teams, and players you love. Folks, if you're a fan of the NFL or the college football season, you need to gear up with your favorite teams. And folks, we're on the push to October in Major League Baseball. You need to gear up with your favorite teams at Fanatics.com. You guys can join Fanatics Rewards and start earning fan cash today. You guys can even do that by downloading the new Fanatics app on the App Store or Google Play today. You guys can check them out today if you guys are fans of the NBA, the NFL, MLB, NHL, NCAA, MLS, WWE, and more. Check it out at Fanatics.com or download the new mobile app today. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. So, yesterday was the college football kickoff, pretty much. And let me tell you guys something. Yesterday was an eye-opener for many reasons. Not just because Syracuse got their butts handed to them, which doesn't shock me there. But there were so many games, including the most talked about game of the day, which was number 1 Texas taking on number 3 Ohio State, that really opened up a lot of people's eyes. And yes, I'm not even kidding. It opened up a lot of people's eyes. Like, I mean, you want to talk about just a thrilling game of defense. You guys need to talk about that game yesterday between Texas and Ohio State, because that game was probably one of the highlighted games of the college football season, because Ohio State went out there to prove that, hey, we are the defending national champions, and we are going to come out in the season opener, and we are going to make things tough on this young rookie, pretty much a young man by the name of Manning. It doesn't matter what his last name is. we're going to come out there and we're going to kick his butt. Even though he had an impressive performance, went 17 of 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, Ohio State said, not so fast, my friend. Pulled the Lee Corso. And they said, we are going to come out here and we are going to control this game. And they really proved why they did. Because Sayin, he went out there, he went 13 to 20, 126 yards, 1 touchdown for Ohio State. Carnell Tate, he had 49 yards of receiving and the 1 touchdown receiving there. And then Donaldson Jr. for Ohio State punching it in. I mean, to really open things up for this game. And I honestly, I thought that this game was going to go into overtime. I really did. I thought that this game had everything that we wanted because we were seeing the young Manning in action. We were seeing the new Ohio State after losing so many players. You could just tell that this was going to be a defensive prowess type game, right? And you could tell that this game was really the highlight of the college football season because what followed this game was results that we did not think was going to be even possible. Well, I mean, we expected the one result out of number 5 Georgia, completely blowing out Marshall 45-7 in that one. Stockton was the quarterback for Georgia in that one. He went 14 to 24, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, and by the looks of it, he even ran for 2 touchdowns too. He had 73 yards on those. Jeez, him. And obviously, Syracuse falling to Tennessee, yes. But what immediately followed this game was a night of just shocking results. Because number 9 LSU took down number 4 Clemson. Clemson was at home, by the way. I want to point that out. They were at home for this game. And let me just say this. I did not have in the scorecard LSU walking out with the victory in that one. I honestly thought LSU was not going to be the victor in that one. I thought Clemson playing at home is a very tough opponent, especially with Sweeney's defense. But once again, the Tigers proved me wrong. But the game I want to talk about has to be the most revenge moment of all time. Number 8 Alabama taking on an unranked Florida State team. Florida State, a team that did not make the original 4-team college football playoff because of Alabama. Because they had a quarterback that was hurt. Because they didn't know what was going to happen to them. This right here has to be the biggest blow to Alabama because this right here is going to devastate them. Now I know what you're thinking. Ty Simpson, he threw for 23 of 43, 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're thinking, okay, he had a good game. But Florida State said not so fast, my friends, because their own quarterback, Castellanos, I'm probably butchering his name, and I apologize, but went 9 of 14 yesterday for 152 yards. He rushed for 16 yards. He rushed for 78 and had 1 touchdown. Florida State completely got their revenge on Alabama. Because that loss right there to Alabama is probably going to hurt them when it comes to the playoff selection. Even though Simpson had a great game, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. For some reason, this Florida State defense was like not so fast. And you could just see the energy that Florida State had when they defeated Alabama. You could just see it. And you were wondering and you were sitting there, is Alabama going to make a big comeback? Because honestly, this isn't the Alabama that should be playing. Florida State says, not so fast. You guys took our playoff chances away. Well, we're going to take your playoff chances away here by giving you that 1 loss to start the season. And not only is it 1 loss, it's a blowout loss. I mean, Florida State fans had every right to storm the field after that. They had every single right because they just looked unstoppable. And by the sounds of it, it was mostly based off rushing, from what I'm seeing, because I'm seeing run touchdown, run touchdown, run touchdown. It seemed like Alabama just couldn't stop the run. And I couldn't believe that, because Alabama is usually known for being a team that knows how to stop the run, they know how to cover in the air. Just couldn't get anything going. And then, of course, other games that followed, number 7 Oregon defeated Montana State, which, by the way, they had a scary moment there when the Oregon Duck lost his head when running out of the tunnel. That was, Of course, the Nittany Lions proving that they are still a threat because they got a 46-11 victory over Nevada. Number 14 Michigan takes down New Mexico 34-17. Number 15 Florida takes on Long Island University, completely blowing them out 55-0. SMU already proving why they're going to be a threat this year with a 42-13 victory over East Texas A&M. I'm going to say this now. I feel like we're in for the most wild season of college football yet. Sure, we'll have the predictable games here and there, but I feel like we're in for a very exciting college football season. Anyone who wants to prove me wrong, please do, but I feel like we're in for one hell of a ride. So now we're going to jump ahead to next week's games. Right? We're going to jump ahead to next week. Obviously, some of the games that are highlighted here is number 5 Georgia takes on Austin Perry, as they're going to be at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia for that one. Number 8 Alabama will take on UL Monroe. If Alabama loses that game, they might as well just quit. They're going to be taking on. They're going to be there at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Number 1 Texas takes on San Jose State in Austin, Texas. Number 2 Penn State takes on Florida International. Number 12 Illinois takes on Duke as they face them in Durham, North Carolina. Let's see here. We got Baylor taking on number 16 SMU. We got number 20 Indiana taking on Kenshaw State. Number 22 Iowa State taking on Iowa. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one, an in-state battle. I wouldn't mind watching that one. Number 23 Texas Tech takes on Kent State. Number 3 Ohio State takes on Grambling. Number 4 Clemson will look to bounce back against Troy. Number 7 Oregon will take on Oklahoma State. Number 21 Ole Miss will take on Kentucky. That should be a good matchup there. Number 15 Florida takes on South Florida. Number 10 Miami takes on Berthane-Cookman. Yeah. Number 13 South Carolina takes on South Carolina State. Army takes on number 17 Kansas State. That should be a good one. I wouldn't mind watching that. And then, of course, the game of the week is going to be number 14 Michigan taking on number 18 Oklahoma, as they are in Norman, Oklahoma for that one. That's going to be a real test right there. I bet you that game decides who's going to be in the college football playoffs right there. Sorry. I guarantee that's going to be the game that decides if Michigan or Oklahoma is going to be in the college football playoffs this year. I can just see it now. That's going to be a big time matchup. Number 14 Michigan taking on number 18 Oklahoma. I mean, that's just. I mean, you can't script it any better than that. But we need to move on to the next headlines here. And folks, yesterday we said goodbye to a man that we're honestly so sad that is no longer going to be a part of College Game Day. For folks that don't know who we are talking about, we are talking about the man formerly known as Mr. Lee Corso. If you guys don't know who Mr. Lee Corso is, I feel sorry for you. because Mr. Lee Corso is a man that has been the guy that many people said have built College Game Day, because he really is the reason that we all tuned into College Game Day, because we were waiting to see who he was going to pick in the biggest game of the day, and which headgear was he going to put on. Was he going to put on, the Ohio State headgear? Was he going to put on the Cornhuskers corn mask? Was he going to put on the Wisconsin Badger? Was he going to put on the Alabama head? Was he going to put on, we were always sitting there watching Lee Corso, and of course, his famous catchphrase that'll always stick with us for years and years to come, which is, "Not so fast, my friend." Unfortunately, we will no longer be able to hear those anymore, because as of yesterday, Lee Corso made his final pick on ESPN's College Game Day, and we are not afraid to share that pick with you, because it is the biggest moment of time. They were in the place where Lee Corso first started it, which was in Ohio State, for the big game between Texas and Ohio State. Many people were waiting for this magical moment as to who he was going to pick for his final headgear pick. And folks, it only seems right that we show you his final pick. Now, this is brought to you guys by our friends at ESPN. ESPN owns the copyright to College Game Day, and of course, built by Home Depot. We are going to show you Lee Corso's final headgear pick as we say goodbye to Lee Corso.
Incredibly fitting that in 1996, when you asked Allison about Brutus the headgear, that you wanted to put that head on, and you did that 30 years ago. You put that headgear on and became a fabric of college football. How fitting is it? We're at Ohio State, Texas, in Columbus, and you've got one last headgear to make.
All right, this is one of the easiest picks I've ever made. Texas is loaded. Texas is number one. They have a Manning at quarterback. Poor Ohio State. They ain't got a chance. Give me my first love.
There it is.
Here it comes.
What a moment indeed, as we say goodbye to Mr. Lee Corso, who yesterday had his farewell. And I know that many of you probably share in the same way that we do, with fond memories of Mr. Lee Corso, because Lee Corso was College Game Day. He was the reason that we tuned in at exactly 11:44 to listen to his picks. But most importantly, it was so that way we could hear the legend himself making those picks. I remember turning on College Game Day for the first time. I remember specifically which game it was. It was between Auburn and Alabama. Coach Corso picked Alabama, and shockingly enough, he won. Now, I want to talk about this man's career for a minute, and the reason that we love Coach Corso, and the reason that he will be missed no matter what anyone says. And allow me to hit you with some facts with "Not so fast, my friend." Lee Corso's College Game Day record: 286 correct picks, 144 incorrect picks, for a grand total of 67% win percentage. His favorited schools that he would pick and has the highest win percentages with is Ohio State. He went 31-14 with a 69% win. Alabama, 28-10 with a 74% win. LSU, 18-7 with a 72% win percentage. USC, 17-0, 100%. If you were caught in the Corso crosshairs, who he picked against the most, Corso picked against his College Game Day ally Nick Saban. He picked against him 16 times for a grand total of 30%. Corso would pick Nick Saban 37 times. He would also pick against Bob Stoops. He would go 15-15 on that and would go 50%. However, many people may remember Corso for his 11-0 run in 1999, where he would go undefeated when making the headgear picks, as he would go on to choose Penn State, Florida, Michigan, Michigan State, Virginia Tech, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Florida State, and Florida State. Coach Corso, we have some words from you ourselves. College Game Day will never be the same. We will not be able to tune on College Game Day and wait for that magical time when the picks are coming, only to see that you will not be sitting there making the headgear pick. It breaks our hearts knowing that you will not be there. It broke our heart yesterday when we saw you make your final pick of your first love, the first headgear you ever picked, which was, of course, Brutus. It is a heavy heart that we will not be able to watch Coach Corso make the headgear picks anymore. It is true. We will not be able to tune on to see what he has to say or whether we are going to hear the infamous Corso telling his colleagues that these people don't give a shit. And if you need that audio, we have that audio right now.
Why even play the game then? That makes absolutely no sense.
After the Notre Dame national championship, when it was over in the first series. It was over in the first series. They claimed Notre Dame number one.
How could you give that any credence?
Let me tell you something.
There's a bunch of claimed.
These people don't give a shit about it.
Or yes, as one of our chatters has pointed out, the infamous SMU Houston game where Coach Corso himself
How can you pick against SMU?
would
Look
say
at over
that.
there. Red, white, and blue. USA. Fuck it. Hey!
Yes. Coach Corso would let out an fuck it on ESPN's College Game Day. But let's be for real. Coach Corso, you brought so many smiles to everyone. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this, because honestly, I have so much written down about this man, it's not even funny. Coach Corso, I guess I can sum it up like this. Without you, there is no College Game Day. Without you, there is no reason to turn on ESPN and watch that championship, that championship winning smile you had. Without you, there was no reason to turn on College Game Day and wait for that famous headgear pick, whether it was going to be Brutus or whether it was going to be Big Al of Alabama, whether it was going to be the Fighting Irishman, the Oregon Duck. it just won't feel the same without you, Coach. And I know that ESPN has a lot of talented people, whether it's Pat McAfee or Nick Saban or, heck, even Kirk Herbstreit. It just doesn't feel the same without seeing Coach say, "Not so fast, my friend." It just won't feel the same without him being a part of the greatest thing that was the reason that we tuned in to College Game Day. And I'm hoping that Coach's final prediction comes true. Because it would be the greatest cap of the season for us. A good old tip of the hat to Coach Corso. He says LSU is going to win the national championship. I think that'd be awesome if he got that final pick right. But let me tell you something else, because one of our chatters also pointed this out, that Florida State, Maryland, Navy, Louisville, Indiana, and North Illinois all won yesterday. Oh, God. Coach Corso, we thank you for giving us a reason to watch college football, for giving us a reason to watch College Game Day, for the fun, for the excitement, whether it was Not So Fast, my friend, whether it was the live mascots that you had to deal with, whether it was calling Ugga ugly, whether it was donning the headgear. I wish we would have had you come to Syracuse, because I would have loved to have seen what you would have done without all the orange. But nonetheless, Coach, we love you. We want to thank you for an amazing career, and we wish you nothing but the best in retirement. From all of us at the Bwn Radio Network, you will be missed. Thank you, Coach Corso. We are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we have the NFL Week 1 schedule as kickoff takes place Thursday. We give you our picks. We give you who we think is going to win. We'll even give you guys the betting lines to bet on. Stay with us live right here on Bwn Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bwn Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So we'll be back with you folks once again. Folks, this segment of Bwn Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats, if you would, please.
You got the tickets?
Vivid Seats has legit tickets for legit fans. From concerts to sports and everything in between. Vivid Seats makes scoring great deals on great seats. Fast, easy, and reliable. When it's something you can't miss, Vivid Seats doesn't miss. These guys know what I'm talking about. And so do these guys. Vivid Seats, the only ticket company that rewards you for buying.
A big thank you to our friends at Vivid Seats. Folks, check out vividseats.com today and find out you guys can get the best tickets to any sporting event or concert that you guys are looking to go to this year. Folks, we are in the swing of concert season, and of course we are in the swing of college football and NFL football, folks. If you need tickets, Vivid Seats is the place for you. Download the Vivid Seats app on the App Store or Google Play today and find out the best deals for any sporting event you are looking to go to. All right. We have NFL picks, and I know, Noble, you said that you were down, but this is our first show back. I kind of want to go through stuff our own. Plus, I'm not going to lie, we're going to work out a thing with, well, you want to know what, Noble? If you actually want to join, go ahead and join. Why not? What the hell? We'll have some fun today. For folks that don't know, Thomas Noble, of course, he is our Boston sports expert. Noble, of course, he is a silver medal winner in golf for the Olympics. No, Noble, I said it's okay to join. If you want to make some picks, my friend, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to hit you with a couple of those today, depending on who the heck you're picking. But let me see if I can get him in here, because I know that he's probably just waking up, knowing him. Ta-da! All right, there he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Of course, our good friend Thomas Noble. Of course, he is our Boston sports expert. If you guys need to know anything New England Patriots or Boston sports-wise, I give you our good friend Thomas Noble.
Yeah, good morning, Radio.
Good morning, Noble. So, Noble, it's that time of year. It's the greatest week of the week. NFL Week 1.
Let's go.
Yes, my friend, yes. And of course, we're starting off with a slate of games that are very interesting, including the first game of the season, Noble. The first game of the season will see the Philadelphia Eagles playing at home after winning their Super Bowl will take on the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Tickets start as low as $471 for that game. Noble, Philadelphia is favored 75 or 7. Wait, hold on. Fuck. The betting line has Philadelphia as a 7-point favorite, the over-under being 47.5. Noble, who are you picking in that one?
Is this a hard pick for me here? It's the Eagles. Like, come on. Like, I don't trust the Cowboys since they lost Micah Parsons to the Packers. Like, this is an obvious pick.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll be talking about that a little bit later on the show. But anyway, yeah, I just based off everything that's been going on in Dallas, I do not trust them. Not only that, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense and offense has gotten even better. So we're gonna say that Philadelphia takes the win in that one, especially with that 7.5. I think they're gonna blow them out by like 14 points.
14. To me, it's more like a 20 to 30 point blowout. I don't trust Dallas.
I just want Saquon to run all over that Dallas defense.
You and I both.
Now, this week's schedule is actually very weird because Friday, the very next day, this game is going to be on at 8 p.m. on YouTube TV. It says here that it's going to be in Brazil. We have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Kansas City is a 3-point favorite in this one, with the over-under being 44.5.
Yeah.
Can I not touch this one?
I want to pick the Chargers. But since there's news like they're one of their offensive linemen Slater out for the season, like you need protection for Herbert. But come again, it's Kansas City. But I'm going KC, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout though. I still don't trust the offensive line at all since they lost Joe Tooney here. I say Chiefs by a safety.
Really? This one's kind of a hard pick for me. I'm not gonna lie, because part of me doesn't want Kansas City to win, but another part of me also is sitting here thinking the Chargers have gone through a lot of stuff during the offseason, which included season-ending injuries to that offensive line. Unfortunately, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I'll say a last second touchdown to Kelsey probably.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm sorry, his last name is now Swift after everything that we've seen. I mean, but now we get to the good stuff. Now let's get to the Sunday games because these ones we should just be able to flow right by.
Yep.
Noble's audio is quiet. What do you mean? That my bad. I had him turned down. That was my bad.
Oh.
My bad. Sorry, Noble. That was my
bad. No. Don't worry about it. I'll let that pass.
Gotta love the
not bad at you here.
Gotta love the technical issues this morning. What a show. Well, anyway, let's jump to Sunday's games. The first game on slate that we have is Tampa Bay taking on Atlanta in Atlanta, Georgia. This one sees the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a 3-point favorite with the over-under being 46.5.
Yeah. People say like the Falcons are going to have a good breakout season, which I do see that, but this game in particular, I'll go with Tampa Bay.
You see, this one's difficult because this is one of those games where it could go either way. But I'm gonna trust in Baker here, and I'm gonna say he gets the job done for Tampa on the road. Didn't have a good road record last season, but hopefully he can have a much better one this year. So I'm gonna go with Tampa in this one. But I think it's gonna be a one-score game.
Yep. It's gonna be a one-score game, yeah. Like, watch out for the Falcons. All I'm gonna say here.
All right, up next we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland, Ohio. With, believe it, Cincinnati's a 5. You're laughing just like I am because I don't even know why we're going over this. It's going to be Cincinnati for Christ's sakes.
It's Cincy. Like the Browns are going to be the worst team in the AFC. I'm sorry. A 5-point favorite for the Bengals? No, it should be like a 20-point favorite. If you look at the Browns roster, my lord.
I mean, we've done nothing but talk about the quarterback situation for so long. The rest of their roster we haven't even picked apart yet.
Some lord.
The next game isn't better, but I'm gonna go with Cincy by at least 2 touchdowns in that one.
Cincy by 3 touchdowns.
All right, Noble, we got a barn burner for the next one. Are you ready? You're not ready for this.
Okay.
Miami versus the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indiana. Oh my God, the Colts are favored by 1 point.
Yeah. Honestly, here, this game. That's not easy for me here. Honestly, like at 1, you got Indy. Now you have Daniel Jones as starting quarterback here. That's one flaw. But look at Miami, who is the team that I cannot stand because I'm a Patriots fan. I'm not going to stand to the point. Miami has a lot of off-season issues. Their cornerback room has been completely gone due to injuries. Safeties are non-existent. I don't think their defense is going to do anything. So with that, Tua, I don't know if he's going to stay healthy throughout the year. So with that being said, I'm going the Colts because I don't trust Miami this season.
Yeah, I mean that's usually the major problem when it comes to this game is because part of me is sitting here saying I want to go Colts just because they got Daniel Jones and I still feel like he is. And I know what many Giants fans are going to say, yes. We ditched Danny Dimes, we got rid of him. He'll have a much better career somewhere else. Allow me to be the guy that becomes the voice of reason. Fuck Daniel Jones. I fucking hate him. But in my professional opinion, I think that Miami is facing a lot of problems when it comes to injuries. And no offense, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to trust Tua with the football this year. I'll go with Indianapolis for this one, but I don't think it's going to be a big score game. I have a feeling it's going to come down to one score.
Yeah, it's going to be like that, yeah. and last season, Colts did beat Miami with Anthony Richards as the starting quarterback. Imagine Miami lose to Daniel Jones of all quarterbacks.
Hey, listen, he was our quarterback for a while, so shut up. We had to deal with him for all those years. Would have rather had Eli back. Anyway, all right. So now we go to Foxborough as the Las Vegas Raiders take on the New England Patriots. Who is the favorite in this one? It says here New England is favorited by 3 points. And the over-under is 42.5. Okay, allow me to make this as simple as I possibly can. Tom Brady as I don't care if you own the Raiders or you're part owner. I don't care what you are. New England's about to spank you. Okay? New England is going to walk into that game and just spank the living crap out of you.
So, is that your pick?
Yeah, I'm picking New England by like 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
The Raiders don't have a quarterback.
Well, they fucking... I'm sorry. I should not say it. F-bomb. Well, they have what's his name? The one who's with the Seahawks now. Get to hear Geno Smith. Yeah.
Oh, great! Like that's gonna be any better.
Yeah. The thing is, also they got Asta Genti, but yeah. I mean, we have not seen him on the. We saw him on the field in preseason. Like he's been stuffed a lot. But he made some big runs here. But this is a true test for him here against the Patriots defense. I'm gonna go short to the point. It's I'm going with the Patriots. It's going to be a very good. I say it's going to be a 2-touchdown game, but I don't know about the Raiders defense at all. No.
See, we know that the Raiders offense has a lot of problems because they have that quarterback situation, but the defense is where I'm questioning it. But I mean, realistically, you look at New England's this year. They have Drake May, who's coming into his what is his second season?
Second/sophomore season with New England.
Yeah,
now we're gonna do head coach.
And I mean, you got a new head coach. You got a new wide receiver, number 1 there. I mean,
yeah, most people on the internet really trolled the hell out of me. They say that Diggs is just nothing but cancer. Like he has not been a cancer yet with us here. He's been teaching the new young wide receivers. I don't see any karma from him in New England.
You want to know why they're saying he's a cancer? And the reason that they're saying that is because when he was in Buffalo, he had a freak out on Josh Allen. And then it's like, well, yeah, he wants the ball, and Josh Allen wasn't throwing him the ball. What the hell do you want?
But now you got a quarterback that could give you the ball at this point out of Drake May. Like, there's a limited options here. And Stephon Diggs is the number 1 option here. I don't see why Drake is going to ignore that.
Yeah, and plus New England also has a shit ton of other options on that offensive side of the ball, which means May has no excuses. He has a whole bunch of weapons this season. New England should do good.
And the one thing that I'm still concerned about, it's the offensive line. Because last season, I complained about how bad the offensive line are. Bad. Not short of the point. Moving on to the next game.
All right, next game we see. Oh, great, another barn burner. We see Arizona taking on New Orleans. Arizona's favorite?
Yes. That's why I'm picking the Cardinals. The Saints, in my opinion, are going to be the worst team in the National Football League.
They are.
They just named Spencer Rattler as the starting quarterback.
Oh, okay. No wonder. No wonder. Okay. I was wondering why I was like, yeah, give me Arizona. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I knew something was I was like, wait a minute, the Saints defense is good. Why the hell are they saying Arizona's right? And then I was like, wait a minute. The minute you said Rattler, I was like, yep, I know where that's going. Okay. Jesus Christ. Alright, Alright, we head to MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Pittsburgh Steelers, being led by Mr. Aaron Rodgers, will take on Justin Fields and the New York Jets. That game is on at 1 p.m. Pittsburgh is favored by 3 points, and the over-under is 38.5.
Oh, boy.
Fucking 3 points. What, did Aaron Rodgers not show up for practice or something? What?
I don't know.
Or is he only going to play 4 plays and then break his leg again?
Don't jinx him here. At least he's in a better team than the Jets. Because I'm sorry, I'm going to be brutally honest. The Jets are known for destroying their quarterbacks.
No.
Just ask for...
Okay, hold on. I want to make a comment here on that statement once you're done. Go ahead.
And I'm not talking about the old quarterbacks. I'm talking about the current quarterbacks at this point that the Jets destroyed. Just ask frickin' Sam Darnold. Just ask Sam Darnold. Just ask Aaron Rodgers. He got 4 plays. He got injured. Just ask the other ones like Joe Flacco. His career nearly got destroyed because he's with the Jets.
See here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Aaron Rodgers is a veteran quarterback. We all know this. Yes. The problem is when you have a veteran quarterback that doesn't want to listen to his head coach and doesn't want to listen to the systems that he has in place, the team is bound to fail. Okay? That's why he failed in New York. The problem here is Aaron Rodgers now has no excuse. If he goes to East Rutherford, New Jersey and loses to Justin Fields and the Jets, I don't want to hear another goddamn thing about him being one of the greatest of all time. Because, no offense, if he can't even beat his old team, he's got problems. I still think Pittsburgh is the favorite, and that's why I'm going to stay with Pittsburgh, just because I don't know about the Jets' defensive side of the ball. I mean, I know that they have a decent secondary, but I don't trust it.
Yeah, same reason we'd be picking the Steelers. And another thing to add, I don't trust Justin Fields as starting quarterback. Like, when we saw him at practice, really? He threw... New York is going to use him to run the ball a lot. He's not, like, I'm sorry, like, I love Justin Fields, I do. But he's not even an accurate quarterback. He's not an accurate passer.
See, See, here, hold on. I'm going to argue here because, no offense, last season Justin Fields didn't even get a chance to really shine because of Russell Wilson being named the starter, right? Justin Fields is a talented quarterback. The problem is he just doesn't have all the right weapons around him. He has some decent weapons with the Jets, and yes, he is a mobile quarterback, but the problem is you can't just say he's going to suck just because he's on the Jets. And
I'm not going to...
And just because
I'm not saying that.
Or no, I'm talking about like the practice stuff. Like you can't base it off of you gotta throw him in a real game situation and let's see how it works. That's why I'm iffy on that game.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know why I say that on practice, but yeah, but we'll see.
All right, now we head to
Oh
Northwest
no.
Stadium as we see the New York Giants take on the Washington Commanders.
Oh no.
As Washington is a 7-point favorite with the over-under being 44.5.
Oh no. This is your team.
Oh, fuck.
Oh
Here we
no.
go.
Oh no.
If it was Dart out there, I'd say it's a different circumstance, but because it's Russell Wilson, and no offense, the Commanders' defense is actually pretty decent, and the fact that Washington has new weapons there for Daniels,
Yep.
I'm going to hate myself for saying it, but we're losing this game. I'm going to say Washington by a touchdown.
Yeah. Go with Washington as well here. Like Daniels and his weapons. This gonna be this coming season. No joke. No joke. Like this is the worst case scenario for the Giants to start the season here. If it would have been if it would have been like if you would have faced like Carolina or the Saints this season, you could get a win here. But since the schedule confirmed that said that it's to be Giants Commanders, I was like, yikes.
Here's the thing. The Giants have a good defense. It's just the offensive side of the ball that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be close. Like if it's a blowout, then yeah, that's gonna be a kick in the boot.
All right, let's. I'm hopeful that the Giants do something, but at the same time, I have a feeling they're not gonna. All right, so next. Oh, great. Do I have to read this next one? Can we skip it?
Which one? Panthers, Jaguars?
Yeah.
Like I mean, the Panthers are gonna be astronomically a little better compared to last season here. Now I have at least they're not going to be the last place team in the NFC South, in my opinion. But Jaguars are getting better now. They got Travis Hunter. Now they got some weapons for Trevor Lawrence, which I hope he will do better than last season. So this game in particular, I'm picking the Jags because they're at home.
You know what? We're gonna stand with the belief that I've always wanted to say, which is the Jaguars are gonna be the Super Bowl champions. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to win.
For peanut butter fluffinator's sake, man.
Hey, they're gonna. Hey, you don't know. All right, so now we move on to the 4 o'clock slate games, which is Tennessee taking on Denver. I'm gonna go with Denver.
Yeah, picking Denver for this. Like, they surprised us last season. Like, I thought, like, last season when Bo Nix got drafted to their 0-17, and well, nope.
All right, listen, people, listen to me. I was wrong. Okay, I'm happy to sit here and admit it that I was wrong. Okay, get off my back already.
Yeah, that's gonna be the same with me at this point here. I don't have belief in Denver last season. Yeah.
It's okay, I have a new 0-17 team.
That's the Saints.
Close. But no. I give you the Chicago Bears.
God's sakes.
Don't tell Rob. Anyway,
I'm not.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Denver to win that one.
Yep.
This one should be a good one. The 49ers are gonna be taking on the Seahawks.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a close. This one's gonna be a close game, actually. Uh, the one major concern on the 49ers standpoint is their wide receiver room. Like, they're like injury prone, and I don't know about their offensive line. So, and Seattle, however, it's their defense I'm concerned about. Can they even play aggressive football compared to last season, which I hope they do. For this game here, I'm going with Niners by a game-winning field goal.
I'm gonna go Seattle. I just
Really?
I just feel like the 49ers, they're still kind of reeling from losing some top talents over the summer. Not only that, I just feel like injuries are going to play a factor coming into this game. Not only that, but I feel like Seattle has a new balanced type of team than they did the last time we saw them, especially with the new QB1 that they got there.
Arnold.
For me, I have a lot more confidence with him being around there. So I'm gonna say, and even at that, even if Darnold gets hurt, they still have two other capable backups in Locke and Milrow. But for me, I think Seattle will come out with at least a field goal victory.
Yeah, but for those of people who are not familiar with Milrow here, like, watch his college tape here. He's actually good. When you watch the preseason, he balled out.
Milrow's a talented quarterback. I mean, anyone that says that he's not, you can come fight me on it. He was in Alabama. He was a top star. It's just, I think Seattle is going to worry about that veteran experience, and that's why they're putting Darnold in. But
yeah,
don't be surprised if we see Milrow at some point.
Yeah. But the next matchup I'm looking forward to the most.
Yep, we see Detroit taking on Green Bay, and the favorite in this one is Green Bay by a field goal.
Really?
I would not. I would have thought Detroit, but maybe people.
I thought the Lions would be a favorite too.
Yeah, I think people are riding the high on the Micah Parsons trade, but
that's understandable.
This is gonna come down to one score.
Yes, and it's going to be a defensive battle too.
Do I go with Love or Goff?
Oh my goodness. This one's not going to be easy.
You want to know what? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say give me Green Bay.
Okay.
Just based on the fact that their defense just got better, and I feel like Love is going to have himself a game to kick off the season on home field. So I'm going to say give me Green Bay.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a tough one for me. I did a 2025 NFL predictions on my Google Slides, and I have Detroit winning the division, because I feel confident about the Lions. And I not so feel confident about the Packers. It's not because of the defense is fine. Like, the weapons are fine. I'm worried about Jordan Love. He stay healthy all through season. Last year he didn't. If he could stay healthy here, the Packers could be second place or third and second place in the division. But come to this game, I'm still rolling with Detroit. Just because the run game is lethal with Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah, I just think it's going to come down to one score, which is why I'm iffy. Because part of me was saying Detroit just based on what they did last year, but then Green Bay just revitalized their defense pretty much. And their offense is slowly coming together. That's why it was an iffy game for me. Up next, we have Houston taking on the Rams in SoFi Stadium. The Rams are actually favorited in this one by 3 points.
Okay.
That I can't believe. I'm sorry. Houston, C.J. Stroud in Houston. I mean, come on. That Houston defense is going to be getting to Matthew Stafford. Let's be for real. And no offense, I trust C.J. Stroud in that Houston offense more than I trust Matthew Stafford and Nakua there. For me, I trust Houston more, so I'm going to go with Houston coming out with a 3-point victory.
Oh, boy.
You're picking the Rams, aren't you?
I'm picking the Rams, yes.
Just based
I'm picking
on
the Rams.
Oh boy.
Yes. The reason I say that, I don't trust Houston's offensive line. Since they lost Laramie Tunsil to a trade, like, I don't know what the offensive line is going to look like. We know, like, besides my Patriots have a worse offensive line, Houston literally got the worst offensive line coming to last season. They can't protect C.J. Stroud. And you can't protect your franchise quarterback. It's not going to be wonders for him or the team. I fully trust the Rams' offensive line to protect Stafford over the Houston's offensive line that cannot protect Stroud.
All right, now we move on to Sunday Night Football, and boy, oh boy, do they give us a very interesting matchup to kick off the season, as it's going to be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Buffalo is only favored by 1 point.
Oh, frickin' boy. That's that game.
I mean, who do you go over there? Because, I mean, this is tough. This one is tough. Do you trust Lamar Jackson to carry his team in an opening season victory on the road? Or do you go with the MVP last season, Josh Allen, who is looking for some kind of answers here?
Yeah, so last season when the Bills played Baltimore, it was at AT&T Stadium. They lost. Now they're going to be at home. It's going to be a flip-flop. Can the Bills win at home? To me, I don't think so. I got the Ravens. I fully trust Lamar Jackson. I trust Derrick Henry. And I could fully trust this offense.
So here's where it's tough for me. When they met in the regular season last time, yes, it was a 35-10 blowout loss, and Baltimore walked away with the win. These two teams met again in the postseason. Buffalo evened the score by getting a 27-25 victory.
To be fair here, they play in the snow.
So? So does Baltimore. What's your point?
Fair point.
Here's the problem, right? This is the opening game of the opening Sunday Night Football game, and it could go to either of these two teams, because I think, and you want to know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make a prediction right now. This is radio's bold prediction of the year. I want someone to write this down, clip it, do whatever you want. Whoever wins this game, I am saying it now. Whoever wins this game will be in the Super Bowl. Because that's how much confidence I'm going to have in this. Whoever wins this game is going to go on to the Super Bowl. Will they win it? Maybe. I am going to pick, just because for me it's the safer pick. I'm going with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Just because I feel like Baltimore needed to make some big time moves this offseason, didn't really make a lot. Buffalo made a lot to try and get Josh Allen more weapons, revitalize that defense. I think Buffalo walks out with that 1-point victory. I think it's going to come down to a field goal where Bass is going to hit it. But I'm that's my bold prediction of the year. Whoever wins that game is going to be in the Super Bowl. Locking it in. They're going to beat the Chiefs. Swifty's going to go all over the place.
Got that written down.
Wait, Noble, did you write down all your picks?
No, I written down your bold prediction.
Oh. I was going to say, we need to write down our picks. See who has the better picks this year between you and me.
Yeah, actually, I have the ESPN pigskin pick'ems here, so I got it right here.
Oh, you saved your... Oh, I probably should have done that. I'll probably have to look over this video again just to make sure who I'm picking. But anyway, we have one more game, which of course is Monday Night Football on ABC and ESPN, which is the Vikings taking on the Bears. And they are at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. Believe it or not, oh, shocker, Minnesota's the favorite by 1.
I'll go first with it. I'll go first with this. I'm actually picking the Bears to win this game.
Oh, fuck.
And I know Vikings fans, don't go at me with this. I'm not sold on JJ McCarthy yet. Like, can he actually can he actually stay healthy? And what would a JJ McCarthy-led offense in the regular season look like? I'm not ready to say that I'm fully sold on McCarthy yet. And what I saw from Chicago, their offensive line has been rebuilt. Caleb Williams got a lot of weapons, and you got a right head coach out of Ben Johnson who can actually help Caleb Williams. I'm fully sold on Chicago here. I'm not sold on Minnesota yet until I see something more out of McCarthy.
Yeah, I could see that. You want to know? I'll actually pick the Bears. Why not? As much as I sit here and say they're going to be an 0-17 team, I was joking around with that. Honestly, I think it's going to be the Colts. But for me, at least, I think the Bears are doing everything they can to help Caleb Williams and get that team up and going. And I think that Chicago is bound to have a rebound season, and I feel like this could be the year. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Chicago. As much as J.J. McCarthy, I feel like he is going to have a decent career. I feel like that this is going to be his welcome to the NFL game. And he's not going to come out with a victory in this one, but I still think the Vikings are going to have a successful season with him at quarterback. It just depends on how he does in the first few games that'll really sell to me whether he is going to be Minnesota's quarterback or not.
Yes.
All right, so we finally made it through the Week 1 schedule. Noble, I do want to thank you for joining me, my friend. It was great having you on to talk some NFL football with you.
Absolutely.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Always love it when we have our experts come on. I definitely need to schedule it out better to where I announce that they're going to be on. But I feel like Noble will be back next week to make some Week 2 picks with me. But, all right. We do have a couple of other NFL things that we need to talk about, which of course was the Micah Parsons trade, as the Cowboys traded away Micah Parson to the Packers. And not only that, but Parsons also agreed to a 4-year, $188 million contract with the Packers, which included a $120 million fully guaranteed at signing. Let me be honest with you here, right? The Micah Parsons stuff. I'm a lot more happier with Micah Parsons being with the Packers, and I know you're gonna say, "Oh, it's because you're a Giants fan." No, it's because just by the way that he was acting in his final days in Dallas, you could tell he did not want to be there. And not only that, but I also want to criticize Mr. Jerry Jones, especially during his press conference, because that part bothered the living piss out of me. So, Jerry Jones says that he got a lot more value over the next couple of years just by trading away Parsons, and he thinks that he can win more games without Parsons on the team. allow me to be a voice of reason here for Mr. Jerry Jones if he ever opens up his fucking ears. And actually allows me to read him some stats. Micah Parsons was responsible over his 4 years in Dallas. He was responsible for 172 solo tackles, 84 assisted tackles, 52.5 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, believe it or not, a fumble return, 4 fumble returns for a grand total of 36 yards. I mean, not only that, but he also had a scoring touchdown, which I can't even believe that back in 2022. So, Jerry, allow me to be the guy that, tries to open up your goddamn eyes here for a minute. To say that you're going to win more games without Parsons on the team just to get a guy, Kenny Clark, who, no offense, doesn't have a lot long in the NFL, just based on what I'm reading here. I mean, no offense, Micah Parsons had a much more impressive career over the 4 years that he was in Dallas, more than Kenny Clark had in pretty much more than the 8 years that Kenny Clark has had with the Packers. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Like, Jerry, you sit there and say you're going to win more games with Clark than you are with Parsons. I want to point something out, because I'm looking at stats from last season. I'm looking at stats from last season. And I can tell you what, I'm already disgusted with it, because I'm looking at the 2024 season. Would anyone care to guess who was one of the top defensive ends on that team was last season? Mr. Parsons. And in that grand total time, last season, you won a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. Because let's face it, you were going through injuries, and of course you lost Prescott throughout the year, so you had to go to Rush and Lance. Completely understandable. But if you really sit there and think that Prescott is the golden son of the Dallas Cowboys, and he has more value than Micah Parsons, then Jerry Jones, you need to get the hell out of Dallas. You need to get out of the NFL, because I'd rather have a fresh Micah Parsons on defense who is not only going to bust his ass and be one of the most efficient tackles around, but I'm looking at your schedule this year. Ain't no way you're walking out of Philly with a win. Not a chance, and I guarantee you, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are going to dominate you in that first game. The Giants game, I'm not so sure. Chicago, I'm not so sure. Then you got to meet Micah Parsons again in Week 4 at Green Bay. Then we go to after your bye week. Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota. You really sit there and believe that you're going to win more games without Micah Parsons? Give me a break. Let's be for real here. Hit me with the laughing cat on that noise, because honestly, I feel like they need it. I mean, come on, Jerry. How about you open up your eyes and be for real? Micah Parsons was the best defensive player you had on that team. You sitting there saying you're going to win more games and continue to be America's team without him? I cannot wait to see the number of interceptions that A, Prescott is going to throw this year, B, the number of times Prescott gets sacked, C, how badly your defense is going to be picked apart by those 4 teams that I just listed off this year. I cannot wait because I want to. I'm fully predicting. What was the Cowboys' record last season? I need that record stat again. Give me that stat again. How many games did they win last year? Give me that stat sheet again. They won 7 games last year. I guarantee you they're only going to win 5 or 6 this year. Because I know Washington's going to be good, Philadelphia's going to be good, Dallas, fucking Mr. Jerry Jones acting like he knows everything NFL. What a douchebag. Anyway, the only other thing that we have from the NFL that we really want to talk about was the Swift-Kelsey thing, because everyone was asking for our reactions on it. Everyone was like freaking out because it was like, oh, your high school gym teacher and English teacher or something like that are getting together. And it was like, what? Who cares? Okay, so they're getting married. You know what that means. We're not going to hear more. The NFL won't shut up with them for the year. So I guess everyone cheer that they're married. Are we going to be happy that they're going to be on TV a lot more this year? Okay, thank you very much. All right. We are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I'm actually going to see if our Premier League experts are available today, because I do want to talk to them. I just pinged them, so hopefully they'll be in a VC ready to go when we come back from commercial break. But we'll be back in just a few moments. Stay with us live right here on Bwn Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio, right here on YouTube. Welcome back to Bwn Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. So we'll be back with you folks once again. Folks, this segment of Bwn Radio is brought to you guys by our friends at W Energy. Folks, W Energy is now a proud sponsor of Bwn Radio Network, as every product they create follows the same philosophy: be effective, be clean, and taste as good as nature will allow. Be better. They have a starter kit for as low as $17 that you guys can get today, and using code Bwn Radio Network at checkout, you get 10% off your first order. Check them out today in the link below. And make sure you guys also check out tpublic.com. Become part of the Bwn Radio Mad Lads by getting your Bwn Radio merch at tpublic.com. tpublic.com has awesome t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, and now hats with our awesome design on them. Get your Bwn Radio merch today at tpublic.com. Okay, so we are checking to see if our Premier League experts are going to be joining us this morning. I know one of them is talking to us right now. And believe it or not, there he is. Yes, one of our Premier League experts. As many of you folks may remember this man. We haven't had him on in a while to talk Premier League. But this man is seen on the Wrestle Arc podcast. He's known as the funniest member of the Wrestle Arc podcast. He's also known as one of the top Premier League experts because of his team Liverpool. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Liam Warren joins the podcast this morning. Liam, good morning.
Good morning to Bwn Radio. Good morning to you, Brandon.
Yes, good morning. So, Liam, the Premier League is back. Yes, we know this. What can you tell us? Any exciting news? Any exciting scores? What's been going on in the Premier League as of late?
Well, it's been back for a good couple of weeks now. There's been some already massive results in terms of the promoted sides, especially Sunderland flying high at the minute. They won their game against Brentford yesterday, 2-1. So that's good for them. But then also you've still got critters like Liverpool on match day 1 defeat, so the champions Liverpool, I should say, defeating Bournemouth 4-2 on the opening day. You've also seen them recently have a thriller with Newcastle on our Monday Night Football instalment where they won 3-2 thanks to Liverpool's youngest Premier League goal scorer in Ria Ngoma. He's a real prospect, and looking, I really do like the look of this kid. Leeds United have also been doing quite well since they've been come back up to the Premier League. They beat Everton 1-0 and then got a 0-0 with Newcastle yesterday. Another exciting result, I should say. Tottenham recently beat Manchester City 2-0 at their home patch. And then, Arsenal have also, who have recruited well in the summer, signing the likes of Eberechi Eze, the attacking midfielder from Crystal Palace, and Victor Gyökeres, the big Swede from Sporting Lisbon, defeated Leeds 5-0 last weekend, and they are set to play Liverpool today, actually, at 4:30 p.m. British summer time. So if we're going to look at the table real quick, got Chelsea, top of the league, currently unbeaten, 2 wins, 1 draw, on 7 points. Then you've got Arsenal, Tottenham, and Liverpool also in the top 4. With Everton hovering around in 5th, who have also made quite a remarkable start to the season, having beat Wolves yesterday. They've recruited quite well. They signed winger on loan in the form of Jack Grealish from Manchester City. And he so far has 4 assists in 3 Premier League matches, so he's been quite the playmaker for them. But yeah, and then also just a bit of news to report in regards to the EFL Cup. Obviously, there was a huge upset in midweek that's got the whole world talking. That being Manchester United losing on penalties to League 2 side Grimsby Town. It went down to sudden death, and Manchester United did lose 12-11 after they went around the spot twice, I guess you could say. It went down to the keepers at one point. They both scored, but then I think Manchester United saw one missed or something, and then Grimsby scored their winning one, and it was all scenes at their ground.
So, Liam, which team has really stood out to you as either being one of the top, like they could be the top team this year in the Premier League, and which team do you see just completely, in danger of just being relegated this year?
I think this year especially, I think the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, who, as I've mentioned, I think Chelsea have been on quite the recruitment drive this summer as well. They signed Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United, the Argentine winger, a day or two ago, I believe. And then Arsenal, obviously, who I've also mentioned, they're going to be up there, I think. Tottenham look quite good, but their issue will be keeping their main core of players fit, because a lot of them spent a lot of time on the injury table last season. That's kind of why they fell away a little bit, finished in mid-table, which is sort of below par for their standards. And then, of course, Liverpool look all right as well. I have to say that. I think they could possibly go back-to-back as Premier League champions, but at this moment in time, I probably have to say, it's still very early on in the season to call who could win. Got 38 games going until May next year at the end of the day. But for me, I think it's probably between the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City again. They're the usual top 3 you see these days. As for relegation, while I think Brentford, who especially this summer have lost quite a lot of key players, they've lost Brian Mbeumo to Manchester United, and for them, he was a big threat for them going forward. But then, I don't know, it's like Aston Villa have not made a particularly strong start. This year, though, they've still got a decent squad, don't get me wrong. They're currently sat 18th in the league, but I feel like they'll eventually come back up towards the table a bit. But for me, it's probably going to be... I don't think any of the promoted sides are in any real danger of going down. As I've mentioned, Sunderland made a good start. Currently have 2 wins, 1 loss. Currently sitting 6th in the table. Got Leeds in 11th with 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. And Burnley, who also are stat 12 with 1 win and 2 losses. But I don't think any of them are in real danger of going down. I mean, maybe Burnley will, but for me, it's like Sunderland and Leeds of the promoted side look the most promising ones. And at the moment, anyone who's sort of down towards the table, so your typical Premier League mid-table mainstays such as Crystal Palace, Fulham and Brighton, I feel like they'll probably finish a bit higher than where they're at the moment. But for me, in terms of relegation, it's probably going to be some of the people we've seen in the division the last few seasons.
Now, Liam, Liverpool is coming off of winning the Premier League last year, or last season. And one of the things that stood out was, and I know that we didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, and we kind of want your thoughts on this, but Liverpool losing a bright young star that they once had, and I kind of want to know how. I mean, the team has obviously paid tribute to him, but I kind of want to get your feelings as a Liverpool fan on the young man that was lost.
I guess you're talking about Diogo Jota and his brother Andre passing away this past summer. Yeah, I mean, it's a real tragedy, of course. I mean, he was only 28 years old. He was, I think, literally only several weeks removed from being married to his now widowed wife, and he leaves her and a few of his young children behind. So he had a young family. But you really want to know what I think Diogo Jota was in terms of a player and a person. As a person, he was remarkable, just a kind soul, was majorly beloved by the fans and his teammates. He was just such a kind-hearted guy. Every time you would look at inside training videos on Liverpool's YouTube channel, he was mainly laughing, smiling, poking fun at the guys that needed poking fun of, I guess you could say. In terms of, we signed him from fellow Premier League side Wolverhampton Wanderers a number of years ago. And he literally, as a player, he was just one of those guys who just did not stop running. Whether he was starting or off the bench at the strike, where he was playing at striker or on the left wing at the false 9, wherever you would ask Diogo Jota to play, he would give you his all. And not only that, he was such an intelligent player. Like, the movements he would make into the box, he just knew where to be at the right time. And even for a guy who was 5'10", his aerial ability in terms of heading the ball was outstanding. But I feel like, for me, as I said, the quality of his day, he could score a goal, he could create goals in terms of assists, and the way he linked up with the likes of, especially in the last few seasons, Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, players like that. He's just so very important, and just an outstanding player, outstanding guy. And for me, the biggest thing I liked about him was obviously the effort and the hard work he would put in every time he played, just chasing every ball he possibly could. And I feel like at least he got to win a Premier League title. That's why it was our 20th English League title. He wore the number 20. It feels rather fitting in that way. And then, of course, we have since retired the shirt number in his honour. I mean, I feel like they are going to miss him this season from a lot of... I mean, they're going to miss him forever, let's be honest. Most of those guys played with him for so long. And, no, it's very tough to take. I mean, granted, we have recruited well in terms of the striker this summer. We bought Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. But for me, Diogo Jota was one of a kind, and I think he'll be sorely missed. Not only by Liverpool fans, but football fans, because if you've looked at tributes that poured in from all around the Premier League and the football world. Everyone just thought he was so special.
Right. Now to kind of get back to Liverpool this year, you obviously have a team that's full of young talent, obviously being led by a couple of Suave veterans like Salah and guys that have been
Van Dijk,
around.
yeah.
Yep. Which of the young guys do you see just coming into this season, being like, hey, I have something to prove that I want to be a part of this squad? Which guys have you seen so far, just based out of the games that you've seen, have really stood out to you?
Particularly in pre-season, as I mentioned, the young kid who scored at Newcastle, Rio Ongama, he came through our academy. He's only 16 years old, so he's technically still in school. But I feel like the fact he came off the bench and had such unreal composure to finish past Nick Pope, who is one of the league's best goalkeepers playing for Newcastle, off a dummy from Dominic Szoboszlai, let it run through his legs, and then he just basically passed it into the far corner. And I was just like, you don't see that level of a finish from a player that age. Like, he clearly, and I've seen him speak in interviews as well, where I've thought that kid is going to be, he has his head screwed on, he's going to be a professional for years to come. I think he's just like wise beyond his years. He comes across that way. But for me, I feel like we also bought Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen for a British record transfer fee, upwards of 100 and something million. Can't remember the exact fee, but it's a lot of money, believe me. But so far in a few games, he's not really come to the fore. Sure, he's been all right in terms of link-up play. I feel like he's just going to be one of those players who you come from a foreign league. It's going to take you a little bit of a time to adapt to the nature and the intensity of the Premier League. I'm not saying the Bundesliga is not an intense league in Germany. That's the top division. There's some good teams, some good outfits out there. But in terms of the Premier League, obviously everyone says it's the best league in the world for a reason, because of its intensity and how competitive it really is. And for me, I think Florian Wirtz will eventually come good. I mean, Hugo Ekitike, another young striker I've already previously mentioned, we signed from the same division we got Florian Wirtz from, just a different team in Eintracht Frankfurt. He's already scored a couple goals, created one as well. And I feel like Hugo Ekitike will be an excellent player for Liverpool. One thing I like about him so far is his attitude. When we played at Newcastle the other night, the players of Newcastle were trying to rattle him, trying to shove him around, trying to get under his skin. He just didn't respond to it. He just kept going about his business. Got another goal there early on in the second half, I believe. Of course, that game finished 3-2 at the end, thanks to, as I've already mentioned, Rio Ngoma's goal. And I feel like there's just a lot of, Ryan Gravenberch, who we think either signed last season or season before, came into Arne Slot's team. Tall midfielder, strong midfielder on the ball. He's really slotted firmly, very nicely into the number 6 role since we gave him that role. And he scored again at Newcastle. It's what I've started to call for him the new dad bounce, because he recently became a father. So he's like, he's got a bit of a pip in his step at the moment. He wants to, get involved as much as he possibly can. Scored an absolute beauty against Newcastle the other day. Just curling one into the near bottom corner from outside the area. But again, I think as a player, Ryan Gravenberch anyway last season was quite impressive. His composure on the ball, just carrying the ball forward in midfield into the final third. I feel like he's going to do that again. And as I said, a bit of a new dad bounce about him at the moment, where he wants to, he's had a kid recently. He just wants to be involved in every step of the way.
Nice. All right, Liam, I got one more thing for you today. So as we said, coming up within the next hour or two, we're going to see Liverpool taking on Arsenal. How do you see that game going? And I guess who do you expect to shine from both teams today?
That is a very good question. As I say, it's very early to call in the Premier League what direction. I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I feel like Even Mo Salah has said he thinks Arsenal are potential favourites for the league this year. I mean, especially given the way they've recruited this summer, buying players in several positions. They bought Kepa Arrizabalaga in from Chelsea as a backup goalkeeper. He won't start ahead of David Raya, mind. He might play the old cup game every now and again, but then you've got the likes of Christian Mosquera, the centre-back from Valencia in Spain, the good young talent. But then, of course, as I've already mentioned, the likes of attacking midfielder Ebereche Eze from Crystal Palace and Victor Gyökeres, who they signed from Sporting. He's already scored 2 goals in his opening 3 games for the Gunners. But I think Liverpool still have a chance. I feel like if they're still looking at signing potentially Alexander Isak, which has been the transfer saga of the summer. He's refused to play for Newcastle, and everyone's like, okay, now that they've since signed a striker in Nick Voltemada from Stuttgart, that they might be looking to move him on, and that would open the door for Liverpool to eventually buy him. Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace, who's a centre half, might be coming in. But as for this game, I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's probably going to go one of 2 ways. If I had to guess, it's either going to be Arsenal narrowly win 2-1 or something, or 3-2, or maybe it might be a heavy score draw, so a 2-2, for example. So neither team might not win. It just depends. I feel like Ibrahima Konate is probably the one weakness in Liverpool's backline at the moment. And I feel like that's because of his contract situation. He's out of contract next summer. It's weighing heavily over his head. And I've joked off the air that his head might be in Madrid. Saw that with Trent Alexander-Arnold last season, where he was, one of our better players, one of the best passers in the world for a right back especially. And now he's moved to Real Madrid, and the scrutiny's upped a little bit, and he's apparently not impressed all that much. And then Konate for Liverpool so far this season, he's a bit of a liability. I think as I said, the contract situation's weighing on him a bit, so he's mentally not all there at the moment, I'd say. So as I said, this game, it's either Arsenal's to win, depending on defensive factors, especially because Liverpool's backline's fairly new, because we signed Jeremy Frimpong to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. And then we've also signed Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth, the Hungarian youngster left back, 22, 23 years old, something like that, maybe 21 even. I feel like the Liverpool backline is still coming together in terms of being able to communicate with each other, in terms of making sure they're defensively solid and what have you. So I'll reiterate, Arsenal either win this 2-1 or it's a score draw, because both attacks are outstanding.
All right. Well, all right, Liam, we do want to thank you for joining us today. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that is Liam Warren, of course, our Liverpool expert, and of course, a member of the Wrestlark podcast. You guys can check out Liam and the guys on the Wrestlark podcast every Thursday at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. Liam, thank you so much for joining us.
Mate, have a good show.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I always love having Liam and those guys on to talk about the Premier League because, that's the one thing that we don't talk about as much. We don't really bring up the Premier League as much as we do, whether the NFL or even MLB, even the NHL. We don't talk about it as much as we should because it is the biggest league in the world. And I don't understand how we don't plan it out well to where we need to have those guys on a lot more. I love having Liam on. I love having Noble on. I love having all my experts on. It just makes for a much better show. That way you guys aren't just listening to me ramble for 10 hours. And of course then you got me hitting the soundboard noises like this. Anyway. Alright. It's now time for Around the Diamond. Of course, folks, our Around the Diamond segment, we check in on the Yankees and the Mets. And boy, oh boy, do we see a complete turnaround from one team and kind of the same results from another. Let's check in on the Yankees right now, folks. The Yankees are currently on a 7-game win streak. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games and have a 99% chance of making the playoffs. They currently sit in the American League East with a 76-60 record. Meanwhile, checking in on the Mets in the National League East, folks, the Mets, they are currently on a one-game losing streak after losing yesterday's game. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games. They have a 95% chance of making the playoffs, and they have a 73-63 record. They are 6 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies in that division. Taking a look at the league overall, the top teams in Major League Baseball right now are the Milwaukee Brewers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Detroit Tigers, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Cubs, the Dodgers, Yankees, Padres, Astros, Red Sox, Mets, Mariners, Royals, and Rangers. Taking a look at the bottom 3 teams in Major League Baseball at the moment, the Colorado Rockies, which are the first team eliminated from playoff contention. They are currently on a 4-game losing streak, 2-8 in their last 10 games, and have a 38-98 record. Right in front of them is going to be the White Sox with a 48-88 record, and right in front of them is the Nationals with a 53-82 record. Currently, the longest losing streaks in Major League Baseball at the moment go to the Washington Nationals with a 7-game losing streak. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Colorado Rockies with a 4-game losing streak with a 2-8 in their last 10 games. The Cincinnati Reds are on a 5-game losing streak with a 2-8 in their last 10 games. And let's see. Meanwhile, for current winning streaks, the longest winning streaks in Major League Baseball belongs to the Yankees with a 7-game win streak right now. Philly has a 3-game win streak, and the Cubs. Oh, I'm sorry, the Rangers and the Guardians are on a 4-game win streak, along with the Diamondbacks. Then we also have the Cardinals, Phillies with 3. So we're coming down to the wire here for Major League Baseball. Only a few games left to play. Already we have a team eliminated from the playoffs. Sorry, Rockies. Better luck next season, hopefully. But the top teams in Major League Baseball are shocking me right now. The Brewers, Phillies, Tigers, and Blue Jays. I would have always thought it would have been the Dodgers, Yankees, Padres. I couldn't believe that. When I was reading that, I couldn't believe that. Brewers, Phillies, Tigers, and Blue Jays are the top teams in Major League Baseball at the moment. It just doesn't seem real to me. It's very odd. It just doesn't seem real. And of course, many people are already asking us, who do we see making it to the playoffs, and who's this and who's that. Honestly, I can't give you my best bet at the moment because it is very difficult to sit here and think who are the top teams in Major League Baseball that could really make it to the playoffs. And just based on what I'm reading right now, it's really throwing me all over the place because the teams that I had at the top of my list were the Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, and I even think at one point I think I had the Astros up there at one point, but now looking at this list now, it's all over the place, and honestly, I can't tell you who I'm really rooting for. I think that Major League Baseball is coming to a point now where we're seeing the end here, and honestly, I'm getting kind of excited to see what's going to happen as we head towards the end. As we head towards October, who's going to bring home the hardware? I mean, the Red Sox have thrown themselves into that mix. They weren't really in it last year. Some teams are fighting to try and keep themselves alive with the games that we have left for Major League Baseball. We're in for a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. Let's see how this all turns out. But all right, that is it for the show today. I want to thank everyone that tuned in and helped out our show today. Again, I want to thank Thomas Noble and Leah Moore, and those guys are part of the Wrestler Podcast, which you folks can check out Thursdays at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. You guys can check out Bwn Radio right here every Sunday at 8 a.m. right here on YouTube. Meanwhile, B-Side Radio is on Station Head 2 times a week. You guys can check us out Monday and Tuesday. Mondays from 7 to 11, Tuesdays from 7 to 10 over on Station Head. Reminder that the schedule is subject to change based on work-related matters and IRL situations. Make sure you folks follow us on our social media page that is down in the description. That way you folks keep up to date on whether these shows will happen. Chances are there could be days where we miss Station Head. There could be days where we miss Wrestler. There could be days where we miss Bwn Radio. But you guys just got to make sure that you guys keep up to date on our social medias and whatnot. But that is it for the show today, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll be right here, but make sure you folks tune in tomorrow on Station Head. That way you guys can hear the best variety music around. But that is it for today. Announcer guy, let's end it the way we normally do. This has been, I'm Brandon Knight. This has been Bwn Radio, the #1 Syracuse Sports Radio right here on YouTube. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Until then, peace out, everyone. Announcer guy, let's get out of here. See y'all later.
What a perfect ending to a historic day!
I said I'll pick you up at 8. Probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. No, I'll wait. Your eyes give off a toxic vibe.